How do you enable children with complex special needs to thrive in a busy secondary school?
Special needs departments often operate into two ways. There's one where you can get children who learn helplessness. They're almost taught that you can't do that because you're special needs, or you have special needs, therefore this is more difficult for you. And there are others who say, right, you're not able to do that at the moment, but you're here now to enable you to do it. And that's the strength of this department.
This film looks at how two students with very different special needs are included and supported, Naomi and Catherine.
Well, she was a bit of a challenge to Sackville, I think, when she came here, because in year 6, Catherine started to lose the use of the right side of her body. Then, during the summer, she started having cognitive problems and memory problems.
When she came to Sackville, she was hemiplegic, and our main concern for her was one of access and safety and mobility around the building. But in the first term in which she was in school, she began to deteriorate quite rapidly.
She started here in the September. By October, she was dysphasic. She couldn't say everything she wanted to say. She could see words in her mind and couldn't say them. She would write down the word vegetable when she meant to write down the word ball, that sort of thing.
We were uncertain what the prognosis was and what the diagnosis was, and so it was up to us to meet her needs. And her needs seemed to be best met by having a statement. So that was what we did initially, was to gather evidence, to talk to different professionals and put together a case for issuing a statement for her. And that has been essential in her support.
It was in January that they found that she went along for another CT scan, and they found that she had a brain tumour, and it was malignant.
Up until now, we'd never had the experience of having a seriously sick child in the department, so it was a new experience for all of us. She is a very special child with very special qualities and amazing ability to cope with very distressing situations as they've been presented to her.
And signing is a lot speech.
Isn't so good, yeah.
Signing.
Better.
Yeah.
The one thing that's been normal through all of this is that when she's not in the hospital, she's been going to school, and she feels normal. Doesn't matter if she's the only kid sitting there in a wig and a hat, she feels normal, and that's important to her.
The Special Needs Department at Sackville Community College in East Grinstead, West Sussex, have developed a flexible timetable to meet Catherine's needs. She works with her LSA, Julie Beswick, to redevelop some of the skills she's lost, and attends mainstream classes such as French, Design and Technology, and Art.
She's got a learning support assistant who can help and support the language difficulty that she's experienced because of the damage to that particular function in the brain. Doesn't interject for her unless she needs it, but interjects when she needs it, knows the level of frustration that Catherine, you know, where the cut-off point is and where to step in.
What we're doing, isn't it, is helping you to relearn some of the things, some of the skills that you need to learn again. Yeah, and Julie does that with you, doesn't she? So, what about your favourite lessons?
Yeah, what's your favourite lesson?
Tech.
The thing about Catherine is she was so keen on her art and was so careful in the way she worked that I realised that with a little bit of help she could actually do everything that the other kids were doing in the design of her desk tidy. I suggested using this clamp here, and I'll pretend I'm only single-handed with my right hand. It's quite simple to clamp the work to the table, straight through the, straight through, with a simple one-handed device here. She can then take her pencil, do the tracing. It was mainly to make her feel normal. It would obviously be a lot easier for us to just come along and hold it for her, but she got such a tremendous sense of achievement doing things without having a teacher looking over her shoulder. And because she was prepared to spend more time on her art than the other children, it meant that she could work in her own time and achieve great results. Her work was as good as or better than the best in the class, which was quite satisfying to see. So on the tracing here, because I've got the tape holding the corners of the paper down and the clamp holding a specific area down, it's quite easy to just trace over and transfer the image through. Each new child that arrives with a problem that you haven't handled before gives you an opportunity to start thinking freshly. And in fact, some things that I'll introduce for her, I'd end up making that the standard way of doing it because it simplifies. I have to simplify it for her. So by the time I've simplified it, it actually makes it easier for a person who's got both hands, but to get a more predictable outcome. It helps me focus on the problem rather than the child being the problem, and finding solutions to one actually benefits everybody and certainly helps your teaching practice.
Whatever problem has been presented by her condition is something which we've worked out between us the best way to deal with. And so far there really hasn't been anything that we haven't been able to deal with. We have to be very flexible when dealing with all our students, and particularly flexible when we have a student with complex needs.
I think we've also brought Catherine on because we've completely and totally encouraged her, and where she said to us, in all honesty, that she can't do something, we've said, OK, you opt out of that for a while and we'll find something alternative that you can do that's stimulating but is not putting you through that particular taxing programme. You know, we'll adapt and we'll adopt wherever we possibly can. And so she's very confident when she comes in here now. She knows that she can do what she can do, but she also knows that we'll push her to do that little bit more and encourage her to do that little bit more.
Tell me what makes you want to come to school, people.
Hi.
Saying hello to people.
It's cosy.
Yeah, it's cosy, yeah. And people pop in to see you, don't they? And ask you how you're getting on.
It's a wonderful school.
What I've learned is to confront some of the fears which I had myself really about very difficult situations with chronic illness. We've obviously had to do a lot of reading up around the situation of her condition to find out the ways in which to help her, and particularly to rehabilitate her when she came back from her chemotherapy. And I think on a personal basis that's what she's helped me to do, and I think a lot of us too have learnt to confront this kind of condition.
13.
Naomi is diabetic and needs to monitor her blood sugar regularly. She also has a visual and hearing impairment.
Let's just see your mum's notes then. The insulin takes 30 minutes to take effect.
Hello?
The insulin takes 30 minutes to take effect. So, you did that about 25 minutes ago, didn't you?
It was
Feeling a bit better?
It's high.
Right.
And we're at 25 minutes and it's still high.
Still high. It's gone up from what it was.
Has it? So we'll stay for a bit.
How long does it take for your blood sugar to go down?
It's quite a while. Between, well, not what I just did, not that. Not a blow. It doesn't take a blow second. It takes about half an hour, but if it's 13, it might take possibly another 10 minutes.
Yes.
Because I can work out where I am now. At the moment, I'm thinking just about 12.8.
Yes,
so
you're very good at judging, aren't you?
It needs to go down a bit more, but I'm not sure yet.
You're very good at judging.
Naomi has 30 hours support a week in a 25-hour school week, so there is additional support for Naomi.
Naomi is supported in every lesson by LSAs who make sure she can access the curriculum fully. Her main LSA is Felicia Shanahan.
Her particular problems are not being able to read from books, from textbooks easily, not being able to see from a board, whiteboard easily.
Can you see?
It's the responsibility of every subject teacher to differentiate the lessons for students like Naomi, a responsibility that geography teacher Steve Laters takes very seriously.
Hoping it's sort of readable. are there.
When you said to need your man, we'll see how it is. What I think we may need to do next time is move further over because the angle wasn't good.
Right.
She still couldn't read because of the angle. So it's nice to have Ben next to me, but
Yeah.
maybe Ben can come on the other side.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
switch.
Wood or stone, useful for...
Although it's no longer a statutory requirement, we still do have a special needs register in which we list the names of the students in the school by year group and we identify the nature of their special need.
For East Grinstead, yep.
What we ask staff to do is to look down the lists of students, identify the students that are in their teaching groups, and then move on to the school network where they'll find pupil profiles which outline in a lot of detail the key information about that student's special needs, the educational implications, the strengths of that student, which of course are extremely important. And we also outline useful strategies that can be used by the teachers in successfully teaching those particular students. A lot of the students will give us those strategies, which is why they're very individual, and they can be very effective because we sit the student down, we ask them what they would like the teachers to know about them and how, what strategies the teacher should use in teaching that student, and they come up with some really good ideas. We feel very strongly that these students have to thrive educationally here, access the curriculum, and that they do more than just cope.
What lessons do you like the best?
I like maths because I like maths.
You're good at maths?
Yeah. That maybe maybe another reason, I'm not sure. I do quite like English. I like history because of the Mr. Bird. And I like French because of Mrs. Ross.
So what are her LSA's hopes for Naomi's future?
That she's achieved and that she has made good friends and that she feels secure and that she feels that she's ready for another step.
And since we began filming, Catherine has had some good news.
All gone. And I can't.
You had some good news about the tumour, didn't you?
Yeah.
The tumour's gone.
Yeah.
That's a very good way of showing everybody.
Yeah, it's just crying. It's wonderful.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We had a very good day that
Yeah.
day, didn't we? We all celebrated. Catherine is a really very special child. She has the most amazingly positive attitude on life. She's really captured the hearts of everybody in school, simply by her cheerfulness and her positiveness and her personal resourcefulness. She, as you will have seen, deploys all her personal resources to communicate with people, and she has been through really difficult treatment and also seen the decline of things like her speech, which has been a very difficult thing for her to deal with, but she's dealt with it in the most amazing way, and I think all of us in the department have learned a huge amount from her.